Burnley 0, Manchester United 1. Finally 3 points, finally a win in the Premier League. It feels like ages. And you know what, there was so much pressure going into this game. We just had to win. It didn't really matter how, even though it was an amazing goal that did give us the win, but we had to make sure we won the game. It was that was all that mattered today. People will say, oh, it's against Burnley, look at Man United, etc, etc. It was a tough watch at times. It was not perfect at all by any stretch of the imagination. Still loads more to work on, but good resilience. No stupid mistakes. That's been the thing that's killing us, and which I'm pleased about. We managed to handle the adversity that we always talk about in terms of we thought we'd scored, VAR gets involved, and then we ended up being calm after that and going on to score a fantastic goal. But it wasn't easy. Look, Burnley, there's a point in the game where they had like 68% possession. We were just sitting off them. They hit the post. They forced a good save from Onana. This was all before we scored. So, you know, it was not an easy game. You never get easy games coming here. And especially with the moment that we're in, with injuries and lack of confidence and not being where we want to be at this season so far with the start we've had, it had the potential to be a massive banana skin, because I'm telling you now, if we would have drawn here today or lost here today, the reaction and the fallout from that was just unthinkable. It had to be 3 points, to the point where it's done now, you move on quickly, Palace midweek, hopefully get the win there in the Carabao Cup, then kick on against Palace again on the weekend. So it's about momentum, it's about winning games. Let's talk about what happened during the game and some of the players that stood out. Jonny Evans, my man of the match. I think he was absolutely brilliant today. Rio touched on it, that he was rolling back the years. He left the club probably too early as it was. And the thing is, what he did that's exactly what it was. It was the experience. That's what it was. He showed a lot of experience, a lot of calm play, putting his head in where it hurts, putting his body on the line. And the ball that he plays for the goal for Bruno Fernandes was just a joke. If Martinez would have done that, we would have been raving about it. We would have been absolutely raving about it, because that is something that Martinez is synonymous with. That is something that we expect from him. And you know what? When Jonny Evans, when we was on tour, remember me and KG talking about it, I was like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe that in 2023, Man United have let go of Phil Jones finally, and he's come to the end of his career, etc, etc. It's taken ages. And then we go back into time, and then we sign Jonny Evans. It was like such a weird thing to do, such a Man United-like thing to do. But he deserves his flowers, man. Listening to his post-match press conference, it was actually really refreshing to hear him, his post-match press conference, his chat on TNT. He said he thought his career was winding down. He pinched himself of times like that. And now he's got his 200th appearance, I believe, as well. So it's great for him on a personal, especially when I hold my hands up. And a lot of us would have said, Jonny Evans, what's going on here? Look, when he come on against Arsenal with Maguire, obviously we were ridiculed in that game. And look, that was against top-level opposition. And I'm not saying, that it means that Jonny Evans is the saviour and stuff, but he done his job today, and more than that, and he had a big impact on the game with a great assist. Got a goal disallowed for offside. It was unlucky that Højlund was standing there. There was a Manchester City one with the same sort of situation with the Aki situation a couple of games ago. They gave that, but I don't know, maybe they're not giving him anymore. Who knows with VAR. So he's unlucky not to actually score and get an assist, but it was fantastic for Jonny Evans. I wanted to give him his flowers. And Bruno Fernandes, listen, in a game where we're not going to be at our best, we're not going to get loads and loads of chances because we're not playing to that level at the moment. Bit of quality, flash of brilliance, and that's why Burnley have been a little bit hard done by today, because that's the same thing what's kind of happened against Spurs or obviously against City, where they play all right, but then someone, because the teams are better, have a little bit of flash of quality. And Bruno with an outstanding finish. And I mean, look, again, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Some people will say, oh, it doesn't mean Bruno's done it if he did it against Burnley. Oh, wow. But today, it had that feeling like nobody else was going to do anything. Do you know what I mean? And the technique that he's had on that ball from Jonny Evans to put that into the bottom-hand corner was fantastic. Another player I want to big up is Hannibal Mejbri as well. You know, when Christian Eriksen didn't play, you have to look at why Hannibal came in, and Erik ten Hag said it. He said he brought a lot of energy to our midfield, and you could see it. We could all see it. A lot of people have been talking about it online. I saw it inside the stadium. He was everywhere, and for his first start in the Premier League, I think it was, it just brought a little bit of a freshness about it. Of course, it wasn't where we want to be in terms of the whole performance, but his individual performance coming in, setting some standards, running, determination. That's all it takes at times. You know, you're never going to get everything perfect. You're not always going to have skills come off. You're not always going to hit the back of the net. You're not always going to be on top, but have the basics. And Hannibal Mejbri made sure that he had the basics. He had some nice touches, but more importantly, he had a lot of energy, a lot of legs in there, and he kept going. Some other people didn't really play too well. Thought Scott had a bad game, just couldn't really get involved, a lot of sideways passing, some silly fouls. Rashi, you know, tried to set Hoyland in a couple of times. That didn't quite work, but it's just kind of work off the ball that's really kind of, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it, you know, and the decision making's not quite there. Obviously, signed this new contract. We want to see him get back to where he was at last year, but at the minute it's a little bit off. But he's trying to learn a new, you know, relationship with Rasmus Højlund. He's trying to set him up. He's trying to look for him, and hopefully that you know, that festers and gets better. Andre Onana, from coming back from a bad game in Bayern Munich, spoke to him after the game you guys saw. He said it's part of life. I said respect to him, because apart from the shot that they had where he hit the post and he couldn't really done anything about that, he was quite composed. The crowd were trying to get onto him and when he kicks it. He went long a couple of times in the first half and we didn't really do anything from it, but it wasn't really a lot of people showing. Wasn't really a lot on. I'd much rather him do that than try anything pedantic. Made a couple of good saves, was brave coming out for the ball. So for him to just steady himself down and calm down after a frantic game against Bayern where his confidence would have probably been on the floor, and to come out of a clean sheet, it was good. Ten Hag said about Reguilon, he was ill, but you know, he put in a shift. Amrabat gets his debut as well. So there are little things to look forward to, little things to build upon, but the main thing is here, we're not going to remember this game forever, apart from the goal and Johnny Evans, actually, to be fair, but it was about getting 3 points and move on. We've beaten Burnley. It wasn't a great watch. It wasn't perfect, but it's a building block, because I'm telling you now, I can't tell you, if we would have lost here today or drew, honestly, we would have been completely in the mud. But Roland Palace back to back, not going to be easy. Not going to be easy, but players coming back. Hopefully we see a bit of Mason Mount. Amrabat now, another week, not even a week, a few more days training. Varane was in there as well. But you're looking at that, you're saying, well, Johnny Evans, I tell you what, mate, he deserves to start against Palace. How can you take him out of the team? So there you go. My man of the match was Johnny Evans. And big up to Bruno, who gave him the man of the match, because it was wrongly given to Bruno, even though he scored a fantastic goal, which won us the game. But the man of the match was Johnny Evans. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.